List P. The first snow fell on the valley, like a soft whisper of her name. And he stood where she had left him, wrapped in the same coat she had once mended with her hands, and her laughter still lingered in the threads that brushed his neck. As the cold bit through his skin, he did not move, because moving would mean accepting she was gone, and his heart was not ready for that yet. So he stayed through the gray hours and the white nights, watching the hill where she had promised to come back when the moons aligned again and the world grew gentle. He built a small shelter by the frozen river, not for warmth, but for memory. For that was where they had first met, when the thaw came, and the waters carried blossoms from the mountain. She had said the river remembered every promise, and he believed her, because she had a way of making everything sacred, even silence, even sorrow. So when the wind howled through the valley, he answered it softly, telling her stories of the stars she had loved, and the sky that had stolen her away. Seasons turned their endless circle, and the villagers whispered about the man who spoke to snowflakes and shadows. They said he had lost his mind, but he only smiled, for madness was kinder than forgetting her face. He could still feel her hand in his, the warmth of her pulse, the tremor of her breath against his chest. When she said, "Wait for me," and he had said, "Always," and that word had become his prayer. Years passed, like drifting ice, slow and merciless, yet he did not count them. He counted only the nights when the frost glowed blue, and he thought he saw her figure in the mist. He would rise and step forward, whispering her name until the wind took it and scattered it among the trees. He did not weep, for tears would freeze before they fell, and he did not want his love to turn into crystal. He wanted it alive, even if it hurt. Then one dawn, after a winter longer than all the others, he saw light upon the hill. Not the light of stars, but of something. Walking toward him, her steps soft as snow, her eyes filled with years. She had wandered through skies unknown, and yet she was still the same, her voice trembling like spring rain as she said, "I kept my promise." And he reached for her, afraid she would vanish like all the dreams before her. But her touch was warm and real, and the air itself seemed to sigh in relief. They stood there as the sun rose, melting the last of the frost. The river broke free in laughter, and the valley bloomed again, for love had returned, not as a memory, but as breath and heartbeat and endless forgiveness. He held her close, not to keep her from leaving again, but to share the silence they had both carried across worlds and winters. And as the morning spread golden through the snow, he knew that waiting had never been a burden. It had been the shape of his love, and in that endless moment, time itself bowed to them. Right,